So this story is a little too short to justify a whole video, so here's a short. Once upon a time, ima wa mukashi, there was a priest who was known as the Shirai no Kimi, and he lived in the capital city of Heian, aka modern Kyoto. Now this priest had a decent place to live in with just one downside. There wasn't a well. And being a Buddhist priest, he figured that he would do the work to dig one himself instead of having someone else do it. So while he was out digging, his shovel suddenly hit something hard that made a metallic clunk. Curious, he dug this object out and was surprised to find that it was a silver bowl. This is pretty cool. But where did it come from? There was obviously no way to know, and although it was a nice silver bowl, it wasn't exactly going to make him rich, so he just simply set it aside, finished his work, and when he had a minute, took the bowl inside. Eventually, he had some other pieces of silver fastened to it and turned it into a hisage, or a little container used to scoop up and pour things. A short time later, one of this man's acquaintances, who was the governor of Bingo province, known as Fujiwara no Yoshisada, decided to stay at the Shirai no Kimi's place for a short time, and he brought a bunch of people along for the ride, and among them were several of his daughters. And it happened that on one of those days that they were at the Shirai no Kimi's house, it was a day that the girls were supposed to bathe and wash their hair. In keeping with this schedule, one of the daughters sent out one of her handmaids to go fetch some water from this well. The handmaid was given the aforementioned silver hisage that the Shirai no Kimi had, and got to work filling it with water to bring back and heat up for a bath. But, as she was filling this hisage up with water, something happened and she accidentally dropped it into the well. Now the Shirai no Kimi had actually seen this happen and immediately called some of his own men over and told them to lower one of them down into the well to retrieve his silver hisage. The men complied, but after lowering someone in, the hisage was nowhere to be seen. That was odd. The water in the well wasn't that deep. They should be able to see it. But after lowering several others in just to be sure, no matter how hard they all peered into the water, none of them could see it. Undeterred, the Shirai no Kimi had the well drained, thinking that maybe they just couldn't see it because of the water. But even after lowering the men into the now drained well, where the men could actually walk on the bottom, not a single one of them could find this hisage. This baffled everyone. It's not like there was somewhere else for it to have gone. It had fallen down the well and should have been there. But the story went around that what actually happened is that whoever or whatever had owned the original silver bowl had come back in the form of some kind of spirit and reclaimed what rightfully belonged to it. And thus is it said that this was an unnerving story indeed. Subscribe for more ancient Japanese folktales.